Assalamu alaikum everyone. Your sister and host Sidra Amin is here again with another beautiful story of a sister who accepted Islam. Her name is Sarah. Before accepting Islam, Sarah lived a very difficult life. She went through many mental, financial, and social struggles, but she couldn't find peace anywhere. Like many people in European society, she also tried to find happiness in drinking alcohol, spending nights in clubs, and hanging out on the streets with friends just for fun. But very soon, she realized that this happiness was empty and that peace was only temporary. Then she was introduced to Islam. Through Islam, she found true happiness and peace by building a real spiritual connection with Allah. So let's move forward to Sister Sarah's video and hear directly from her about how she found her path to Islam.
My name is Sarah. In 2026, it will be 7 years since I accepted Islam. I'm from a small town called Blackburn in Lancashire. I was raised with my mother and my two younger brothers. I was living a very normal teenage life: school, friends, and all the usual things teenagers do. I was also involved in things like drinking alcohol and going to clubs. Sometimes it all felt fun, but there came a point when I realized that this lifestyle was slowly emptying me inside, destroying my soul. I was happy with my family, but our home life was quite broken. Childhood wasn't easy. I spent my weekends drinking, clubbing, having boyfriends, and doing the kinds of things that many young people find exciting. But the next day, or the days after, I would feel very low. I felt broken inside and emotionally drained. Sometimes I even had suicidal thoughts because I wasn't getting anything real out of this life. There was an emptiness inside me. None of it gave me real peace or satisfaction. My soul felt empty, like there was nothing inside. I did have a few Muslim friends, but they never really told me anything about Islam, and I never asked them either. But what I saw with my own eyes was their sense of community and their family structure, and that really affected me, because those were things I didn't have. I had always been curious about religion. I studied religious education for my GCSEs, and at that time, Islam stood out to me the most, because it felt very simple. But I never practiced it. I was just searching for a peaceful life. Once I went on holiday with some girls. There were 4 of us. This was one of the worst periods of my life. This was all before I accepted Islam. We went to Malia in Greece, which is known these days as a party holiday destination for young people. We were supposed to stay for a week, but I could only stay for 3 days before coming back home. I really didn't like it there, and it wasn't because there was something wrong with the place. It was because I was upset and confused inside. At that point, I said to myself, I can't live this life anymore. This isn't me. There has to be more to life than this. It was August, and I was going to start university in September. I was doing a degree in religion. At that time, I wasn't even living at home. My family had completely fallen apart. My mother was in a lot of debt and was living with a friend. My brothers were living with a cousin, and I was living with my grandparents. I was completely alone. I didn't really have friends around me. This was a time of deep self-reflection for me. I had no support, no comfort, nothing to lean on. I chose Islamic studies as a main subject at university because I was most interested in it. One reason was the way Islam was talked about in the media, and another was the time I had spent with my Muslim friends. I wanted to know more. I knew other religions would also be part of my degree, but I especially wanted to study Islam in depth. A lot of people are surprised when they hear my Revert story. The truth is, I had only been studying Islam at university for about 2 weeks. I had learned only some very basic things about Islam, and I thought to myself, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. I decided to take the Shahada. Some people say you should learn a lot before accepting Islam, but for me, it was about this. If I died tomorrow, I wanted to die as a Muslim, so I took that step. But in reality, my real story began after accepting Islam. When I took the Shahada, subhanallah, a weight lifted off my shoulders that I can't even put into words. I thought to myself that I would continue learning after becoming Muslim, and that was it. That was my journey to Islam. I started my university life as a new Revert Muslim. Alhamdulillah, the most important thing for me was the Shahada itself, the oneness of Allah. When I learned about Christianity and other religions, they all felt very confusing to me. But the oneness of Allah was something that truly settled in my heart. Then there was also the community aspect of Islam, which was beautiful. And my teachers as well, their character, their manners, the way they behaved, they were Islam in action for me. I was deeply inspired by my lecturer. The kind of person he was made me think, this is Islam. I was very influenced by his character. Right after my Islamic lecture, I went straight to the Multi-Faith Center. I thought, I need to do this now. When I went inside, there were a few Muslim sisters there. They asked me, can we help you? I said, I feel like I should accept Islam, so I want to become Muslim. They sat me down and explained the meaning of Islam to me, the conditions of becoming Muslim, and what the Shahada means. Then they called an imam, and right there I said my Shahada, Alhamdulillah.
Viewers, before moving ahead with the video, I have a small request for you. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. The purpose of my channel is to deliver the message of Islam to everyone who speaks or understands English, and this mission is not possible without your support. So please subscribe to the channel and let's know in the comment section which city you are supporting this mission from. Jazakallah.
When I accepted Islam, I was living with my grandparents. So after saying the Shahada, I went back to their house. I was crying. I was completely sure that I had made the right decision. Obviously, I didn't tell my grandma straight away. I had to start wearing hijab immediately. After a few weeks, my grandma started to notice that something had changed, especially because before, on weekends, I used to sit with her and have a little drink, and suddenly I had completely stopped. So of course she must have thought something was going on. She was the first person I told that I had accepted Islam. This was about a month after I became Muslim, and she reacted really well. She had no issue at all with my conversion. Sometime after that, I told my mum as well. Alhamdulillah, she was also completely fine with it. My mum said she had always expected, from when I was young, that her daughter would choose a spiritual path, whatever religion it might be. Thanks God the people closest to me were very accepting, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But after the happiness of the first few weeks, the struggles began. At the beginning, for the first few days and weeks, you get a lot of support from the sisters, hugs, people saying, we're here for you. But slowly, everyone gets busy with their own lives, and I was left completely alone as a new Muslim. Some of my non-Muslim friends were supportive, but because I didn't have Islamic support, I slowly slipped back into my old life. My friends were still going out on weekends, and I would go with them. For many months, it felt like I had gone back to my old lifestyle. I was Muslim in name, and alhamdulillah, I never went back to being a heavy drinker like before. But sometimes the loneliness was so strong that going out with them on a Friday night at least made me feel less alone. That period had a lot of ups and downs, and it really wasn't easy. Then, a few months later, I moved back to my hometown. There was more support there. There were more Muslims in that area. But still, those feelings of depression started to come back. I remembered why I had taken the Shahada in the first place, and I knew I needed to return properly to my religion. Around that time, I met a very lovely sister who told me about a retreat, a spiritual gathering. I swear that retreat changed my life. Subhanallah. I never expected to become so emotional. When the sister told me about the retreat, she said that she herself had once been a very non practicing Muslim and that this retreat had completely changed her life. But honestly, until you experience something like that yourself, it's hard to believe. I travelled for about 3 or 4 hours by train just to get there. At that time, I wasn't wearing hijab. This was almost 2 years after my Shahada, and I still wasn't in hijab. When I arrived at the retreat, the first thing I felt was the sisterhood, the support, and the sense of belonging. From the very first day, everything was so well organised. It felt overwhelming in the best way. Then the lectures by Abdul Hakim Green began. I learned in a way I'd never learned before. Normally, I would get my knowledge from the internet, YouTube, and books. But learning and feeling Islam at a retreat is something completely different. It took me right back to the moment when I first took the Shahada. I felt, this is who I am. This is the purpose of my life. It truly changed my life. I met sisters there who, even 4 or 5 years later, I am still very close to. I made lifelong friends there, people I speak to every single day. Now I have support. After coming back from my first retreat, I started wearing hijab. I started praying, because at the retreat you live in an Islamic environment, even if it's only for 3 days. You pray together, eat together, form sisterly bonds, and keep learning. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to come back home. Honestly, it was an incredible experience. It changed my life. Before the retreat, I had already spent 2 years at university, and my religion had taken a back seat because I was focusing on my studies. So I decided to take a year off from university to focus on my deen. During that time, I went to the retreat, and after that, everything started to change. When I came home from the retreat, I was praying, wearing hijab, and feeling more aware of Allah. It was a reminder that no matter what is happening at home, Allah is always with you. After all of this, a Muslim man sent a proposal only 2 weeks after the retreat. At that time, I didn't even have a place to stay. I was living in a hotel. I prayed to Allah, Ya Allah, place me with a family who accepts me as I am. Grant me a husband who will support me and give me a safe place where I can practice my religion. And the very next day, subhanallah, the proposal came. And that's it. From that point on, I started living my life according to Islam, and I never looked back.
Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I hope this story touched your heart and reminded you that Allah guides whom He wills. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please keep us in your prayers, and we will see you in the next video with another beautiful story of guidance. Until then, take care. Peace be upon you.